course Research Methods and Design. In the previous lecture, Introductory 1, we were introduced to the objectives, content of the course. Now we are going to start knowing about Research Methods and Design. So let's take the first step of introducing the meaning of the individual elements of our course name. So we'll know what research is, what methods are, and what design is. So let's start with the definitions. What is research? We want to know what is research. From dictionaries we can get these definitions. Research is the systematic investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So it is systematic. Yes, we need to have a system for research in order to reach some conclusions or results. So it's not haphazard. It's not. If it is haphazard, it's not research. And if we don't get results, again, it's not research. So we need some kind of system. We go through some kind of system to investigate some hypotheses, some phenomena, some problems, discovering solutions to these problems. So we want to investigate some kind of problem, and research always related to problems. Feeling the problem is the first step of starting a research. Let's say that, well, this room is very hot. So you felt the problem that there is too much heat in the room. So the next step, you would ask yourself, what should I do? So this is investigating the solutions for this problem. Then you will start to gather some data. Well, is there air conditioning here? Well, yes, there are some air conditioning here, but what is causing the problem? Maybe the yellow, too much yellow lights here in the room causing the heat. Yes, so you would start then gathering data, testing some solutions or hypotheses until you reach the results or a solution to your problem. So the first step of research is to feel the problem. If you are asked in the final exam, what is the first step in any kind of research, is finding a problem or feeling a problem or feeling the urge to solve a problem. So from research we want to establish facts and results. Research can produce to us some facts, and that's always done through science. Science usually produce facts. 1 + 1 = 2. In humanities, it's different. What I mean by humanities, I mean studying things related to human, like history, like languages, like sociology, and etc. It's difficult to establish facts until we are 100% sure. And how can be sure? Through research. We can conduct research once, twice, for a million times until we are very sure that this is the case. If this is the case, then we can get a fact from all the research. So we can get from research facts and conclusions or solutions to our problems through collecting some materials, data from different sources. Then this is research. But how do we do it? There are different methods to do research. So a method is a particular procedure for accomplishing or approaching something, a systematic or established one. So a method is a procedure or an approach that can lead us to something. We will meet some research methods in a minute. What is design? Some people mix up the two things, methods and design. It's different. Design is the logical structure of the inquiry. There is a logic behind structuring this research. I want, for example, to start, let's say that I have problem that why Arabic speakers learning English have problem with B and P. So the logical structure of collecting data is what? I'm going to Arabic speakers studying an English course, and then I will start to collect data from them, either through interviews, I ask them questions, or I give them surveys or questionnaires, and then they answer the questionnaires, and then I go home to analyze the data. This is a logical structure, and this is the design of research, and it has a name. We will name it very shortly. So the method is the approach, the way, and let me give you an example of methods. I want to use what is called, and we will be talked about repetitively in this course, quantitative and qualitative methods. Quantitative means has to deal with quantities and numbers. I want to produce some numbers from my research. Let's say that I have a research about teachers who score their students' homeworks and teachers who do not. So I just want to know the numbers. I do a research and then say I have in this school 10 teachers who score and mark their students' homework, and 5 do not mark their students' homework. So producing numbers from research is called quantitative approach or quantitative method. If I don't want to get numbers from my research, I just want, for example, to philosophize, to discuss theories and philosophy, to just give explanations, reasons. This is called qualitative. I don't get numbers. I go to answer the questions of why. For example, I go to the same school. I say, well, yes, in this school there are some teachers who mark or score their students' homework, and there are teachers who don't mark their students' homework because these teachers are not well trained, because these are teachers are lazy, blah blah blah. So I just try to explain these results and facts without mentioning numbers. So this is qualitative and this is quantitative approaches or methods. So if I specify a topic, I need to specify the best approach for me. Let's say that I am trying to find a research topic. Let's say that I want to know which test is difficult for students. A listening test or a writing test. Let's say this is my research topic. I need to decide from the beginning, am I going to use quantitative methods or qualitative methods? And from that point, other things will be dependent on our selection. If I select quantitative approach, there are different instruments or tools I should use to help me get these numbers. If I want to use qualitative methods, there are different instruments or tools to help me generate qualitative data. And from my method, I can design a research. This is simply just to give you the feel of the course. I will talk about all of these in details, inshallah, in the next lectures. Types of research. We have something that is called descriptive. I want just to describe. I am a teacher in school. I want just to describe the practices of teaching English in my school. I have research regarding how many teachers, for example, attend their classes from the beginning, how many teachers attending late their classes. Just describing the situation without sometimes giving solutions or recommendations, just description. Explanatory? Well, I want just to explore some areas in language studies, and then I want to explain reasons, to explain justifications of these practices. Again, let's have the example of teachers who who mark their students' homework and those who don't. I just want to explain the reasons. This is called explanatory. Ethnographic. Ethnographic is very different. It's like, for example, you say, I am going to Al-Ahsa society or Najd society or Al-Hijaz society, and then I want to explore some problems. I don't have anything particular in my mind, or let's say I have something particular in my mind. Let's say I want to study Hijazi accent. So I don't have enough data about it. For example, I go to Al-Hijaz, Jeddah, Mecca, Al-Madina, and then I start to study the accents of the people, start to asking them different questions until I get clearer picture. This is ethnographic, and we are not going to deal with it much. Experimental, and this is widely used. What do we mean by experimental? We have an experiment. Let's say that I have a new technique to teach English. For example, I am going to use computers to teach English grammar, for example. So I have an experiment. I have a group of students in one class, giving them this new technique, teaching them English grammar through computers, and I have another group of students, another class, and we have and then we teach them without computers, just from the board and from the textbooks. This is called an experiment. You want to experiment something new and see its effect or its effects on students. Experimental, widely used in science and also in humanities, but most of scientific research, these are which are related to science, biology, chemistry, medicine, heavily rely on experiments. Action research. Action research is simply like, I am a teacher and then I try to study as a researcher. I am the teacher and researcher at the same time. I try to study the practices of my teaching, my students. This is called this is just an example of action research. We are not going to deal with it. We have case study research. With case study, I have in my mind very few people. It's like, for example, you have children and you want to study the behavior of your children in acquiring English language. So this is called a case study. I only study very few cases, not too many, just 1, 2, 3. Sometimes the biggest number would be, let's say, 5 or 8 or 10. So this is called case study. Longitudinal studies is the study of something over time. Let's say that I am teaching now first year university level students, and then I'm going to move on with them in teaching English until they move to the second year, and then to the third year, and to the fourth year. I move on with them, trying, for example, to check their progress in learning English. This is called longitudinal, and this is very time consuming and very tiring because you need to conduct it over different periods of time with the same students with the same subjects. This is versus cross-sectional. Cross-sectional, I don't have to track the same students. Let's say that I want to compare the English level of students from the first year and then students from the fourth year. Two different groups, first year, fourth year, and then I want just to compare their performance. And then I would say, well, these students from first year, when they reach fourth year, they will be like these students from fourth year. It's called cross-sectional studies. You don't study the same students, you study them from different time and from different people or subjects. Quantitative versus qualitative, I explained this to you earlier. Quantitative, you collect data through some tools and you quantify them. You quantify the data. You gather data about, for example, how many students in your classroom who got an A plus and those who got B, C, D. So you gather some exams and then you quantify them. You can quantify how many students placed in the A and B or C levels. Qualitative, as I explained earlier, you collect data through some tools and you explain and discuss, argue, hypothesize, this is hypothesize, S-I-Z-E, and philosophize them. So you collect data not to make numbers out of them, but to make some arguments, explanations, reasons, or hypotheses or theories about them. In the next class, I'm going to talk about the classical report of research. This is the classical report of research: abstract, introduction, literature review, methods, data analysis, results, discussion, conclusion, bibliography, appendices. And I have here a link for you. This is a link for a famous supervisor, a well-known famous researcher, and he has many articles and books about research, and he explains this classical report of research. We are going to visit that link from time to time to know the meaning of abstract and introduction. See you inshallah in the second lecture to talk about these nice topics. Thank you for listening. Wish you the best of luck.